So we are one episode away from my unfiltered RCR rant. One more episode after this episode, and then it's the RCR rant. So y'all better get ready, get your popcorn ready for that episode. It's coming out in a week or so. Unfiltered RCR rant. It should be a lot of fun. I like ranting about stuff. I mean, I guess I don't like to have to rant about it, but it's pretty relieving, if you will.
Lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the video, and today we will be recapping JTG Daugherty's season and their two drivers, Chris Buescher and Ryan Preece. If you guys do enjoy, make sure you like, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below you guys' thoughts. Tell me if I missed anything. And before we get into today's video, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our partners over at NASCAR Talk America. Thank you, NASCAR Talk America, for being such great partners, and let's get into today's video. NASCAR Talk America is by far my favorite NASCAR Discord server, really Discord server in general. There's so much stuff to do. You have the general chat where you can talk just about anything, and then you have, you can talk about specific Cup series, the Xfinity series, Gander Outdoor Truck series. There's a question of the day, all of that fun stuff. Here's all your news and standings. Standings doesn't really do much anymore, but you can see news from each and every Twitter page for NASCAR. And then we have here when there are actual races, you have your racing commentary, and then you can actually talk in the booth. And then moving on down, you have your other motorsports and sports, and then here's where you can advertise and all that stuff. But I also have my own little tab here where I put all of my uploads and ask you guys some questions and just communicate with you guys. So if you guys want to talk to me some more, I try and talk on Twitter, but I also will be talking on here. So be sure to go ahead and check out NASCAR Talk America. The link will be in the description below. Ryan Preece's 2019 stats looked like this. He finished 26th in the point standings, had an average finish of 23.1, had 1 top 5 at Talladega, and 4 top 10s. This was Preece's first full-time season in the NASCAR Cup Series, which is now the new name. I forgot to mention that is the name now. It's not the Monster Energy Cup Series, just the NASCAR Cup Series. So this was his first full-time season. He ran, I think, 5 races. I'm not sure for what team exactly, but he ran a couple races in 2015. But this was his first full-time season, and it was with JTG Daugherty, a mid-tier team, but it's also a team on the rise. I know those stats, 1 top 5, 4 top 10s, did not look very appealing for a rookie. That, we hear somewhat about his talents, being able to. Now, he never really had actually a full-time ride in the Xfinity or Truck Series, so a lot of people seem to kind of write him off because he never had a full-time ride as just somebody who's there because of sponsorship, but he didn't really have his own sponsorship. It's something I found funny about that. He didn't, Kroger was there before him, so it's not like he really had sponsorship. I do believe he is a talented driver. While he did not look as good as Chris Buescher did, he had the same amount of top 10s and 1 more top 5 than that of Chris Buescher. I feel like obviously it's at Dega, so it's not like insane, but I feel like Ryan Preece, it's his first season in the Cup Series. I think to match your teammate who was looking very well throughout the entire season in top 10s, I know his average finish was about 5 positions back, but that just showed, in his first season he had ups and downs. There isn't really a highlight besides that Talladega race to really point to, but I think there is a lot of positive stuff to take from this season to kind of put to the future. I think it's way too early to give up on Ryan Preece, and I think one day we could see him carry this JTG Daugherty team into Daugherty. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that word. Team into maybe more relevance. Chris Buescher has most definitely done that. Unfortunately, he was taken away from him. But I think Ryan Preece, I've always thought he was talented. He never got a full-time ride, so we never got to see a full sample size, and he never really got the time to go through an entire season, or got the opportunity to go through an entire season. So he learned stuff as he went on, and I think next season he's going to come back better than ever, and we'll talk about that more in the preview here later in the year, or actually not later in the year, next year. But I think there's a lot of positive things to take away from Ryan Preece's season this year. Remember, he is a rookie. I think he's 25, 26. He's still got quite a bit of time left. And I think JTG JTG is not the worst place. I'd say it's probably a better place to be than that of RCR or Front Row. I think that is a step up from those organizations, even if it may not seem like that. Now, Chris Buescher had a season where the top 10s don't really tell the story. He finished 20th in the points, above that of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Austin Dillon, two drivers, probably at the beginning of the season weren't considered any better any worse than Chris Buescher, but this year definitely opened our eyes to that. Had an average finish of 17.1 and only had 4 top 10s, which is the same as his teammate, but the big stat that separates Chris Buescher from Ryan Preece is that average finish of 17.1, 5 positions higher than his teammate. And that stat average finish is a true indicator of, consistency. Yeah, you can have X amount of, let's say 10 top 10s, but you got Chris Buescher over here with 4 top 10s. If he has a better average finish, that means he is being more consistent than you. Typically 10 and 4, you'll see the guy of 10 probably have a higher average finish. I mean, it's possible, but there can be somebody with 3 to 4 more top 10s than you, but you still had a better season, in my opinion, if you have a higher average finish, because that means when you weren't finishing in the top 10, you were still getting consistent results, likely in the top 15 or top 20, and that was the case here. When Ryan Preece wasn't finishing in the top 10, he was finishing in the top 20, top 25 on a consistent basis, maybe even top 30 sometimes, just depending upon how he was doing. And that's not a knock on him. He was learning. Hopefully we don't see that as much this upcoming year, but that is the case. When Chris Buescher was not finishing in the top 10, though, he was in the top 20, top 15 most of the time, and I would say there's a couple races where he was like just outside the top 10 and was in and out of the top 10 for most of the day, where you could really, when a day like that happens, I like to consider that top 10 a top 10 day. So if we're talking top 10 days, he probably had 7 to 8 top 10 days out there just to not get the top 10 finish. But I don't know, that might sound a little crazy, but when I see a driver up front all day and then they go back, I usually kind of like to give them credit for being up front for most of the day. Not just a stage, usually all of the stages, and then just something happens at the end. But anyways, he had quite a few of those days, but the highlights of his season, I would say, was Kansas was the one I saw him the most, where everybody and their cousin who had not had a win was in the top 10. I think Clint Boyer was really, Chase Elliott was up there, but there was Clint Boyer and Chase Elliott really the only ones who had a win in the top 10, and it was just one of the most insane races of the year. My personal favorite race of the year to this day, even though Brad Keselowski won in kind of an unsatisfactory way. But if you haven't seen that in a while, I would suggest going back and watching that race. On a quick side note, just insane race, in my opinion, better than the Charlotte race. Charlotte's second, though, in my opinion, and I think it's the best of the year, to be honest. I think one of the better, not the better finishes, but just the ending type, where there was quite a couple cautions, and just the restarts were just crazy. And I know a lot of people are negative about this package, but that was something that as a racing fan, you have to enjoy that, whether or not you like the package or not. Anyways, kind of got off topic there, but that was a high point. And then he followed up that at Charlotte in the Coke 600 with a 6th place finish just outside of the top 5. So a really great kind of stretch there. Throughout the season, he would kind of cool off. I think Atlanta at the beginning of the year was his other top 5, and I'm not sure what his 4th top 5 was, but those were 3 of his top 5s. And then throughout the season, or top 10, sorry, not top 5. Throughout the season, he just kind of cooled off. He was there. He never really wavered from the top 20, and it was just kind of there for the rest of the season. A couple times we'd see him in the top 10 here and there, but nothing too insane. And all in all, a good season from him. A season similar to what I would think Ryan Newman would do if he were in that 37 car. So something that Roush Fenway can look forward to the future. I think Chris Buescher could kind of be that Ryan Newman kind of guy. I don't think he's hard to pass like him, but somebody like Ryan Newman and Paul Menard that will get the results in the car, maybe not the flashy ones. I think Chris Buescher might be able to get more flashy ones, but consistent top 10s, top 15s. I'm really interested to see what he does in that Roush car next year. That is all I got for today. If you guys enjoy, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and comment down below all your guys' thoughts. Be sure to check out our partners in the description, and that's all I have. Like I said, just a couple. My outro. I'm working on it. I've been busy. I got finals this week, but break is coming up, so you already know I'm getting on that career grind. bring that back. I'm sorry that it's been a while, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.